So I'm going to be working on a short sequence today using the mini ball. The mini ball is going to be blown up a fair bit. If you have it obviously deflated quite a lot, then it doesn't give your core as much of a challenge, but it helps you balance a bit more. But you're still working on an unstable surface, so there will be to a certain degree some challenge going on there. We're going to be working on our back, and I'm going to place the ball directly underneath, a little bit lower into my spine, where the top of my bottom line ends there, or begins rather. So coming to lie onto your back. You won't need a block underneath the head. If you need something, then you can use a small, very thinly folded handheld. You don't want to close off the space between the chin and the chest. So lifting the buttocks up, placing the ball into that lower spine. And then from here, I'm going to take a deep breath in. Allow the shoulders to relax. And to begin with, we're just going to start with some knee raises, just to prepare. Working through the body, keeping that pelvis nice and stable. This is what we're aiming for. So we're on that unstable surface, so it means we could glide around quite a lot. So try to keep it really steady as we perform the knee folds. The feet are relaxed, just working through each transition from one side to the other side. Very, very carefully. Thinking about if you did have physically something on those hips, although they would probably tip over because we're on a slant, but think about something crossing, maybe a plank crossing the hips there, staying nice and stable. From here, we then take a deep breath in, exhale and extend the leg away, and then flex through the foot, and then relax it back. And then we lift again, and extend the leg and flex the foot. So we're slowly working through all the time, just thinking about the stability, keeping the breath flowing from one side to the other with that stability, and the breath flowing up and down through that body, in and out. And then from there, draw the belly button in towards lower spine, keeping the ribs stabilized, rib to hip connection. As we breathe and exhale, we raise the other leg off. And then we begin to hold. So you can have bent legs or straight legs. The hands on the mat, fingers are on the mat. And then you're going to breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. You could begin to pump the arms to keep the blood flowing. And then turn the palms up for 5 pumps. You'll notice that you're shifting around a little bit. So there's a lot of work going on through those core stabilizing muscles. Good. Pumping down for 5. Keep the arms strong and lengthened. And then pumping up for 5. You can really stretch through those legs. Extend the legs away, so you're working through those thigh muscles. If the legs start to ache, just bend the legs down and work this way instead. Good, let's do a couple more pumps here. Working through, legs bent or straight. Try to keep those feet in line with the nose as much as you can. Avoid the swaying if possible. Good, last round. And palms up. And then from there, bend the knees in, and we're going to go into scissors. So you're going to take one leg towards the floor. You may not reach the floor, so don't worry too much if you can't feel it, because it's like, oh, where's the floor gone? So it can be quite a little bit further away because you are on the ball, and you've got a lot of work going on through this core. So we're staying nice and stable, so hands on the mat, fingers on the mat, or hands off the mat if you wish to make it a little bit harder. Working through, trying to keep really steady as much as possible. Your thighs will ache a little bit. If you wish to, you can stretch the legs a little bit further, or you can completely stretch the legs as you switch them. You may not be able to reach the floor here. If you're going for flexibility, what you can do, be mindful that you don't overarch that spine as the leg goes down. Think about that rib to hip connection as the leg extends away. So the easier method is just to do little scissors just above the hips rather than extending all the way down towards the mat. So you really need to listen to that body. If you feel the spine is arching, decrease that leg where it's extending away and do little movements instead. If the thighs begin to ache, you can always bend them. Good, and then when you're ready, slowly stretch the legs up to the ceiling, and I want you to bring your right leg in front of your left leg. You're going to open out to the side and then breathe out to bring the legs together. So the left leg is now in front of the right leg. Breathe in to open the legs out. Exhale to bring the legs together. Again, hands can be flat on the mat, fingers on the mat, or hands off the mat. So you're working through windscreen wipers, but nice controlled windscreen wipers. We're not going too quick. Inhale to open and exhale to close. So you're using, you need to bend the knees a little bit just to soften off the work through those thigh muscles. If you're happy to stretch them, you can increase the range of movement through the legs as you abduct the legs away from the midline here, and then as you adduct them, bring them back together. So it's inhale out and exhale close. Inhale out and exhale close. Good, last one. Bring the legs back in, tuck the knees in towards you, release off a little bit, and we're going to go again, round 2. So we start with the 100. The legs are bent or straight. So you begin to pump the arms, breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, palms up, 3, 4, 5, palms down. So it's up to you. Feet are relaxed. Legs are extended. To make it easier, we can bend the legs to decrease the workload a little bit through the thighs. You have to keep that focus and attention on the line between the legs, where the legs meet. Keep that in line with the nose. Letting you count your own beats here. So we'll just keep going. We might not do 100, we might just do 80 or 90, whatever, of that exercise. Good. Some of you may like to flex the feet. Really feel that stretch through the back of the legs, through the calf muscles and the hamstrings, and feel the work through the thighs as well. It all depends. Draw the abdominals in towards the back all the time, maintaining that connection. Then from there we go into our scissors. So it was bent legs as we toe tap, imagining this pool beneath us. And we can just toe tap the toe onto the pool so we see it like a ripple occurring in the water. Just gently toe tapping. Seeing if we can take the leg halfway, 3/4 of the way, or all the way down. Keep the shoulders relaxed, because you'll notice as you go through intensity in the exercise that you start to build up tension in the shoulders. So try to keep them relaxed. If you can notice any tension, you've got your hands off the mat, bring the hands back to the mat. Lose that tension as much as you can. You can do the exercise, remember, with straight legs. And if you wish to, you can go for just drawing the leg in and having a little bit of a pulse on the end of the movement. Just to add a little bit of a stretch to the back of the leg in the air. And then a little bit of a stretch through the front of that hip as well. Keep feeling the length through the legs. And just hold the arms beside the body. Keep those hips nice and stable as you perform the movement. One more. Good, and then we go into our Windswing Wipers. So, this time I'll put the left leg in front of the right leg. And we're going to open out as we inhale. Exhale. exhale to close slowly to work those inner thigh muscles, the adductors. Opening out. Exhale to close, keeping it nice and steady. Good, working through that core. Rib to hip connection, so as you exhale, draw the ribs towards the hips. Imagine that plank of a small piece of wood across the hips here. Shoulders nice and relaxed. Remember, if the legs ache, just bend them. Take the intensity out. If you've already done it with straight legs, there's no harm in coming back and regressing. Once you've done a few reps, you can always go back to the straight legs if you prefer. Open. One leg comes in front of the other. Open as we inhale. And don't forget, the further out you go, you increase the flexibility, but then you also have to demand the strength of the adductors to bring the legs back in again. Try to keep the shoulders relaxed. Remember, the arms can be off the floor as you're performing the movement all the way through. Good, let's take one more each side. Opening out to feel the stretch. Exhale to suck and draw the legs together. Working through that core to help stabilize you. And then when you're ready, bend the knees in. Soften off. Place the feet down onto the mat and lift the hips away. And take the ball out from underneath. And then from there, just open out to a little bit of a butterfly stretch. Opening out through those thighs. If you can, take the arms over the head just to stretch through the chest. If that's uncomfortable, just bring the arms out to the side. Just be aware of the breathing wide and full into the rib cage. Slowly gather in the legs, bring the knees into the chest. Stretch through the lower spine. Deep breath in. And exhale as you draw the knees towards the arms. Breathe in, legs move away a little. Exhale, gently draw the knees in again. Inhale and exhale. Sliding the legs down, taking a nice full body stretch to release. And relax the arms. So just pause for a minute to finish.